here. This is really quite special for me. I want to thank the university, the Office of the President, the Faculty of Science, and the Department of Physics and Astronomy for hosting this event, organizing this event, and letting us all share it together. I have to say, since October 2nd, I have just felt incredible support and goodwill from everybody at this university. So it is amazing to see so many of you come out. I want to say that I hope I get to meet University of Waterloo's second Nobel laureate. I hope we have the same enthusiasm for the second time around as everybody seems to be showing for me. Of course, it can never be quite so special that second time around, so I feel sorry for that person. Because it's always best to be first. Point out that it's great that we're meeting here in the science teaching complex. Not only is the science's newest building, but this is the building that focuses on teaching. So it just happens that the week before I was woken up to learn that I was winning this prize, I was on a trip to learn how to make our first year physics labs better. I've taken on a new role as director of the undergrad labs for the department, and something that is near and dear to my heart is to try to convince physics students that they want to be experimentalists, okay, not just theorists, right? And our first year labs don't really do that. Our first year labs were sort of designed to sort of reinforce teaching concepts, and I want to change the labs to teach students what it's like to be an experimentalist and try to share the fun that comes along with being an experimentalist. And along with these new labs, I have ideas of what I would like to do, especially for the honors physics program, because I want people to come in and see the magic that I get to see in my lab. And so one of the labs that I hope that I can bring to our undergrads is something that I do see in my high-intensity laser lab. If you just focus the infrared color that my laser makes and just focus it into something like water, we just take tap water, every color of the rainbow comes out. It is magical. Now, do we expect students in a 2 or 3 hour lab to figure out why? No. Do you know, it took scientists working around the world 10 years to figure it out. That didn't mean we didn't use it, and it doesn't mean that every single time we see it, we still don't think this is just magical. So that's what I hope, that if there's honors physics students out here, or the people that are thinking about coming, they'll get to capture some of the magic that is experimental laser physics with me. Now for the grad students that might be here, so are you seeing me as a role model? Are you thinking, you too could get a Nobel Prize for what you're doing for your PhD? Not many of us get to do that, okay? So, but I do want to say a few things about it. You know, I chose to go to the University of Rochester because there was only 2 schools of optics in all of North America, and Rochester is one of them. So I didn't choose to go to a Harvard or a Stanford. I'm not sure they would have let me in anyway. I don't know that my marks are that good. So it was good that I didn't want to go there. So, but what I'm saying is that you should always choose to do what you really want to do. I also will tell you that when I went to Rochester, even though it wasn't a Stanford or Harvard, I went with the ambition of doing one of the world's best PhDs, okay? And it didn't take me winning the Nobel Prize to know that I had done that. I knew it at the time. I also want to say that we published that paper not in what was considered a highly acclaimed journal, okay? And I also will tell you that it was not cited very often in the first 5 years of its existence. So if we go by all the metrics that we scientists seem to have to use these days, I would be almost a failure, okay? And yet I knew at the time, and certainly the high-intensity laser people knew it. I certainly got invited to talks at all the laser conferences. It wasn't that the high-intensity laser people didn't know that what we had done was big and important, okay? But it wasn't from all of the outside things, all right? And so now the Nobel Prize people, 33 years later, said it was a big thing. It does get cited about 200 times a year now, 33 years later, okay? But at the time, it wasn't that big a deal. And I just want you to know that I didn't need to know the Nobel Prize, and so I hope you don't feel that you need a Nobel Prize. I hope that you're taking pride in the work you're doing, because if you're getting a PhD, you've done something new and different, and only you know how hard you worked to make it happen. And so I hope you have that same sense of pride that I got to have at the end of my PhD. All right. So that's really all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say that I do want to share it here with the University of Waterloo. I want to share it with the people that I work with back at the University of Rochester, with people currently at the University of Rochester, with all of Canada, and for all the women too. Thank you very much.